starten. Okay, but didn't manage my picture.
Yeah.
Why the hell the uh, camera is not doing what I want? On, off. What? I don't know. It's a mess.
Slowly. It will be fine.
Yes. Oh, let's see, like that. Go out of that. Perhaps it helps. Sometimes it helps. No, no, no. Ah, come on, camera. Why you cannot refresh only? Okay. Sometimes so stupid. Ah, now it works. I have to go out of everything to reset
Mhm.
and to do it new. Okay, now we can
Okay.
go. We can go. I the chart go out. We solve the problem. Wonderful. Okay, now okay. I'm always a little bit how to say when I look on the live stream, it's
Uh-huh.
difference from 1 minute. Okay, now I will go out live and in 30 seconds, 40 seconds, we will be live on YouTube. But
Okay.
I don't know where I can see it. Here, live. Perhaps it works here. So, no, still not out. It needs really time. I don't know where I
Yeah, I
can see
can't
this.
see you. Actually, you're frozen.
Now we are online, Sarah. Welcome in the first session I do with you as artist singer. Perhaps you can say a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, and then we can start to talk.
Of course. First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to talk with you. Yeah, I'm actually the front woman of the metal band Dolia. We are currently living in Sarajevo, Bosnia. We will see where the path will lead us, but we are here for now. So obviously, I'm a singer. From time to time, I play violin, and yes, that's like pretty much everything summed up.
So how long you are playing music or in this band? The band called Dolia, or
Yes, the band's name is Dolia. It's actually the name of a Slavic goddess of faith. So,
okay, nice. And since when you are playing in this band?
well,
When you started?
I started when I was 14. I actually got into that band as a violinist because that's a symphonic metal band. But I started singing there 2 or 3 years ago. So violin had to wait a little bit. But I pretty much grown up with those people in that band. And we were about to release our EP just before this whole thing happened. So like it's already pretty hard to do metal music on Balkan, but yeah, now we have to wait for this to end and to continue where we left off. And after that, we are entering the studio to record our album of 9 songs. It's a concept album, a fantasy story written by our bass player, and of course, we all like took part in this and that. And that's pretty much it.
So, what is your role there? You are a singer, you playing violin, And you just mentioned that you are also composer and you write text with together, or how it works?
Well, yeah, I write lyrics myself, but not for Dola. Some things I do, but the main lyrics writer is our bass player. But of course, I write my own music. Some of that will also end up in Dolia, some will end up for some side projects and everything. And from time to time, of course, I take part in writing lyrics. But like my main role is the front woman.
The front woman, that's nice. So we can see it on the background picture. There we have pictures on you on the stage. I will switch, but we are still on screen. Where was it? We see pictures from you on the stage. I have to explain the audience that Sarah cannot see. She has only the smartphone. All the equipment is in the studio, so she's a little bit blocked and cannot watch the YouTube parallel. So I have always a little bit to explain. We see you singing as front woman on stage. Was this the release, or is it older?
No, that was actually the last gig we played 1.5 years ago or something like that. Right after that, we jumped into the studio and like we closed into four walls and then started writing and arranging the songs. So yes, that was a long time ago. Unfortunately, we were about to do some live gigs at the end of this summer and September and in October, but unfortunately everything is postponed. So I'm pretty nervous, for all of this to end so that we can just continue where we left off. But of course, I have enough patience, and I'm hoping that everything will be fine, so that all musicians around the world will be able to continue with everything that we do.
I just show another pictures. Oh, it doesn't work. I have to try it again. Now we see you also on stage. Where is it? Where you played there? Is it in Sarajevo?
Yeah, it is. It is a small venue in it's something like how to say it, uh, like a place for young people, where there are concerts being held, and that's it. Like a little theater. It actually
Mm-hmm.
looks like a little theater, and well, about 500 people can be there. So yeah, it's not that big, but not that small.
So you say you play, you are singer in the main part, and but you also play violin. So how is the balance between violin and singing? Or
Well, I must admit that when I started singing for real, I kind of, left violin aside. But this whole quarantine thing like, has motivated me to start playing more again. So hopefully there will be a good balance. But singing is my first love, and there's nothing in the world that I love more. So of course the violin will always be, like, yeah, on that second place. But
how you?
there's
Yeah, continue.
no, I just said there is a time for everything. You can always arrange something to make it all work. So yeah.
And how long you play violin? When you started, in which age
uh
you started?
I started when I was 8 years old. That's
Well,
usually you know, that's usually when you start playing in the primary musical school. So yeah,
so
I was
normally
8.
you can think, oh, the parents say you have to play piano or violin. Was it your decision, or was it more that the parents wanted?
No, no, no. It was all my decision. I was actually thinking, I was thinking about piano, and I was absolutely sure that I was about to, to learn to play piano. But then when the day came to choose, I don't know why, I just chose violin. Um, from this perspective, right now, maybe I should have chosen piano because piano is it's really easier to compose things and to sing while playing piano. But of course, I love violin, so and I play piano just a little bit. I'm definitely willing to learn to play it a little bit better in the future. But yeah, violin violin was absolutely my choice.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I know pictures from when you were younger, when you played violin. It looks very good. I'm always fascinated when some people play violin or this complicated instrument. It's something different for me. And I loved. I know a few persons who can really who mix who not only play classic, who make really different sound with violin, and that is what I love. What I really like. And what is
Yeah.
the CD you are preparing in the moment? What kind of music? What kind of text you are working there on as band?
With the band, it's epic fantasy stories. So for all of you out there who are who love to watch, you know, fantasies and fantasy movies and to read fantasy books, it's a yes. And yes, I do not write for that particular story. That's the story of our bass player. He actually started to write that book when he was like 14, so very long ago. But he actually kind of gave it to the band. So it's his story, and yeah, we're following that path, and it's a pretty interesting. I don't want to like give any hints because then I will spoil everything. But you'll see, it's a cool story. It actually is a story from two perspectives. One is fantasy.
What from Stupid?
No, no, no. It has that story has two perspectives.
Ah, okay.
One is completely fantasy,
Yeah.
and it's held in fantasy world. And the other side of the story is actually placed here in modern world. So you'll see.
And it's very secret. When I see that now, you cannot tell more about the a little bit about the no. Then you get chased off the bed. So when you will be
Yeah.
finished, when you hope to make the real release party?
Well, as soon as this ends,
Can you repeat it? If
we
we
actually
had a
record.
bad connection.
As soon as this ends, actually, because after this ends, we are going to shoot the music video, and that's all. It will be out. You know,
So
so it can be
the recording is finished, or and you have only to make the video.
for the,
And how is
yes, for the
the?
short EP.
Mhm.
It's finished, and then we will record two singles, and then after that we are entering the studio for the album of which has 9 songs. So it will be that album will be out next year, but this will be out as soon as this ends.
Yeah, and you say it's difficult in the Balkan for musicians. Is it specially for this kind of music, or is it for all music?
It's difficult anyways, but well, it's not difficult if you play popular music. But it is very difficult when you play metal because we don't have a market for that.
Hmm.
We do not have any record labels that will, that are metal record labels, and especially when you write in English, all of our stuff are in English. So like you can't um we don't have any opportunities playing metal here. Maybe it's a little bit better in Croatia and Serbia, but still not that much.
Mm-hmm.
When you come to Slovenia, it's better situation. They have very popular metal fests, and of course, in Germany, it's like it's beautiful. But
So
yeah,
all
well,
the
Germany
metal
is a
fans have
really
to listen and to wait on your release and to invite you, of
well,
course.
hopefully they will like it. We'll see. We're doing this for the foreign market. Trying to do this for the foreign market. Hopefully, we will people. So we'll see what happens in the future.
Hmm. And as you say, you were in the studio just before the Corona crisis comes, or at which point you have to stop to work?
Well, we had to stop immediately when this happened. Like we were about to we were sitting with our friends who are doing music videos, drinking coffee. 2 days after that, we weren't allowed to leave the house,
Hmm.
so everything stopped. I mean, the most important thing is that we all get out from this healthy and in both ways, physically and mentally. But I'm using this time wisely to do some things that I maybe couldn't do before. This is a very good opportunity for musicians to practice, to gather some new ideas, to write more, and just to clear their heads.
So you give yourself how to say a schedule that you say okay in the morning, in the afternoon, or whenever in the night. You train your voice, you train or you play violin or you make composing. So how is your daily? How you manage this time as musician?
Well, it usually happens spontaneously. Like I get up, drink my coffee, nothing without coffee, of course. After that, I do some vocal trainings, sing a little bit, do some short covers or something that I usually post in my Instagram account or something like that. Just to keep it going, and of course to practice. And then after that, I do a little bit of physical training, just to stay ready for the stage. And I always write something down. Like when ideas pop up, I have on my desk a lot of papers so that I can write everything down. And when it comes, I just keep working on it. When it goes away, I just stop and wait for the next
Hmm.
wave.
So you
And
just said that you writing still on papers. So your creative process is you need the physical papers and pencil and things like that, not on the tablet.
really, well, I do. I prefer writing lyrics on paper. I just can't do it on phone. Like I wrote two songs maybe on my phone, but only because it was 2 or 3 a.m. Now this sounds like a cliche, but really it happened. Like, and that's 2 a.m. And I was too lazy to get down from my bed and to because my bed was upstairs. So I wrote something down, but I prefer having that piece of paper and then just to write it down or just to throw it away if I don't like it,
Hmm.
stuff like that.
So when you say
Yeah.
you writing lyrics, is it also poems or is it really only lyrics for the music? So you make.
Well, yeah.
Can you repeat it?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time.
It's your turn.
No, sorry, this sounds late. So, no, it's usually for the music. Yeah. I used to write poems in my mother language when I was younger, but not really a big fan of it anymore. Maybe one day I will get back at it. I don't know. But for now, it's usually something for the music or just ideas that I will give to our bass player who writes the lyrics. So, just a little bit of help for this and that.
Hmm. One part, I will show another picture you on the stage. You are a little bit, you're not in the moment in action. You are a little bit thinking, or I don't know. It looks very interesting, this picture. So how is it for you to perform on stage?
The best feeling in the world. I know it sounds strange, but I am very nervous before the stage, before going out on stage. But the moment when I get out and when I start to sing, literally just everything disappears. So I'm there, only there on that stage, nothing else exists. So I always feel, I don't know how to describe it, but like awesome after that. I always want to do it again and again and again and again.
Hmm. Yeah, you're good. You look good. So it's always a picture when I see it on Instagram or what else. I love it. It's really nice. Um, you sent me a little snippet of your music. So the sound was not really good because it's recorded by smartphone. And it's very short. I will just load it and then I will play it, and later we can talk a little bit about it so that the people can get a little impression how it works. So, of course, you told me every sound is in the studio and it's top secret still. So I try if it will work, and then we coming back later.
So you are
Yes, yes, yes.
how many people are there or were?
Maybe about 200. Can't actually remember. There was because we were actually we were warming up the atmosphere for the one band from Denmark, so I didn't count. But it was crowded enough. Yeah.
How to say that? It's a full band. Is that the main word?
Yes, full band. Yeah.
You
You
say
say
it
it
also
also
like
like
that.
that.
I
I
thought
thought
it's
it's
only a
only a
German
German
word.
word.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh, you
You
say
say
also
also
you
you
do
do
beside
beside
the
the
Dolia
Dolia
project
project
and
and
band
band
project.
project.
You
You
have
have
also
also
your
your
own
own
music.
music. What
What
are
are you
you
doing
doing
there?
there?
What
What
kind
kind
of
of
music
music
you
you
do
do
for
for
yourself?
yourself?
Well, it's usually something that just comes up. I do not think very much about it. It just happens naturally, and then I hand it over to Ricky, who's playing guitar, and he's composing for Dolia. So I always give him, that to listen and to see if we can use something for the band and if we can work together on it. Because it's always better to work with people and not alone. Because then you can share some ideas and get a new feeling, new perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the things that I did, um, I mean, I didn't finish them, but the idea is there. The most of the things will end up on our albums, future albums and singles and everything. But I'm also thinking about, doing some collaborations and projects. So there's a bit um, talk about all of that, but we'll see what will happen after our release, and then then we'll see how will how will I manage to do that, and with who.
Hmm. Is it as a female singer more difficult in by metal music, or does it make any, how to say, impact for you?
Well, it certainly is different, I believe. Uh, I mean, the whole industry is now somehow based on the looks. Whether you're male or female, it's always like, okay, I want to see him or her, how they look. But of course, that I think that if you're female, a lot more bad things can happen to you. But luckily, I didn't have any awkward experiences. I also think that it's really important how you behave, and I want to be appreciated of my voice because of my voice, not because of, I don't know, something that I will wear. And of course, the good thing is that there are a lot of bands out there with female singers, and they're on the scene for 20 years or more. So it's well balanced now. Of course, that you have more male fronted bands and bands with all where all the guys, but there is a balance, and I believe it can be hard, but I think you have to behave correctly and to believe that nothing bad will happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And also, I have other guys keep you safe, so that's good.
So
So
you
you
never
never
get
get
by
by
yourself
yourself
the
the
feeling
feeling
that
that
you
you
get
get
blocked
blocked
because
because
of
of
you're
you're
a
a
woman,
woman,
or
or
on
on
the
the
other
other
side
side
you
you
get
get
preferred
preferred
because
because
you
you
are
are
a
a
woman.
woman.
Well, there are mean people, of course, and of course that some of the guys, or I don't know, guys, or will look at you like, okay, there's a girl, she's singing, but I don't want to listen to her. I want to look at her something. But I try not to think about that. I actually don't think about that because I'm really focused on the music and on the singing. So I'm really devoted to it. So I believe that I will be able to transfer that emotion and
Hmm.
everything to the audience, and that will, they will love me because of my voice and what I do with it, not because anything else. Because it is a problem. I get pissed off because there are a lot of people who actually you know don't sing that well, but they get by just because of the things they're wearing. And of course, it's not fair, but on the other hand, there's um, there's enough place for all of us. If you don't want to sing, you don't have to. But you know,
So I
I
must
must
ask
ask
you
you
how
how
you
you
come
come
to
to
music
music
when
when
you,
I mean you
your
your
father
father
is
is
singer.
singer,
So
so
does
does
you
you
have
have
any
any
impact
impact
from
from
this
this
side,
side,
or
or
was
was
it?
it
well, of course that I grew up on concerts. I grew up listening to loud music. So I like to think that it had to do something with this. And of course, my parents were the one, who were playing some good music. So that's how I got my taste, I believe. When it comes to metal, they didn't listen that much to metal, so I kind of discovered it myself with the people around me. But of course, that it's good, to have a musician in your family, because of course that it can be very helpful. It can be stressing, of course, but it can be helpful because then you kind of he can understand me
Mhm.
completely, and of course that's really important, especially when you want to do this, because a lot of parents would be like, okay, finish the school, do not have a band, don't go out there and like stay
Yeah.
home and else. So I was lucky enough that they understood this is what I love the most, and they believe that I will, do what I want one
But
day.
you still have another passion or another side in your life. I changed the background for we are still on screen and we see one picture from you a little bit with effects I did on stage in a very noble dress like on stage. I guess it was a musical, or explain a little bit how you come to
Yes,
this part.
it was Annie the musical. I've been playing in that music. I've been acting in that musical since 2016. Very small role, but it's really fun, and that musical is beautiful. That's musical for kids, obviously. So that is another passion of mine. I like I'm some kind of vocal nerd, or am becoming some kind of vocal nerd. I want to learn as much as I can. So when I started taking lessons, I was taking lessons from opera singer and from pop and musical theater singer. So that's how I got into that musical theater thing. And of course, I always loved that mixture of acting and and dancing and singing at the same time. So yes, I like to sing those songs. It's a very specific way of singing, but it also has a lot similarities with
Mhm.
what I do in the band.
But
So yeah,
the
it's
style is completely different. Or when I think about metal and about the musical, so it's a wide range what you have to offer.
well, yeah, it is a bit different, but for me, it's kind of it's all about storytelling. Whether in my band or in the musical, you have to tell the story. And I'm doing this album with Dolia in a way of a big play. I'm trying to deliver different emotions in every song, so that you can really have the feeling like you're there. So it has lot to do with musical theater. Because musical theater is always intense, and you never know what will happen next, and it has a lot of ups and downs. So yes, I kind of found um, that note, how to say it, that bond between those two.
Mhm. And when you perform, when was it on stage, the musical? In which year it was?
Uh, we started into 2016, but we actually played that last year, and we were about to perform in Belgrade in June 2020, but again,
It was planned to
yeah,
repeat it. It was
yes,
planned
yes,
to.
yeah, we've been repeating it for from 2016 till till next year, and we were about to repeat it again in
Yeah.
June, and
Did you
Hopefully, we will do that.
did you do any training for that? Some education for musical or acting or?
Well, it no, not for acting. It was like only those rehearsals that we had with the team, the whole team, and of course, the woman who organized all of that. She also has her school of singing and performing and everything, and that's actually how I ended up being there because when I was taking my lessons, I took some lessons there. So yeah, we had training, kind of, you know, uh, kind of a training, and of course a lot of rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
Before the premiere, we were like we were literally rehearsing every day for 15 days, and then we did 3 shows in a row, three
Mm-hmm.
nights. And it was really fun. It's beautiful, just to be with so many talented and cool people, and of course with all those children, because the children from the first lineup grew up, so we met new kids. Okay, and next year, if we do that ever again, of course new children will come, and it's really inspiring.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So how is the artistic scene in Sarajevo nowadays? How you would describe the scene?
Well, you have a lot of young people, a lot of talented young people with great ideas, with great music, great bands. So you have pop musicians, rock musicians. You even have uh, metal bands. So it's really diverse, and some of those people are my friends too. So we all like um, stick around, and we're trying to fight um, some folk trends here. Um, but yeah, it exists, but the opportunities and do not exist, and there's not enough support for that.
That I just want to ask, is it, I know it from Hungary, that since the one guy is on the government and president, all the free groups of dance music and things, they break down because he only uh, sponsors the traditional folk music. Do you have similar situation in Bosnia?
Well, kind of, because that folk music, we call it turbo folk, is really popular now. And the new pop music, like which is pretty similar to American pop music. Um, that's people listen to that here.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people rock, and especially not metal, because when you say metal, they think of some dangerous people singing about Satan or whatever. Of course, you have people singing about Satan, but not every metal band is the same. Actually, metal has so many different genres that it's just um, I'm sad because people do not get it, and there are a lot of biases, and people don't want to listen to that, and it's really sad because, like, I personally think that 80% of the world's best musicians, are in the metal scene, the world's metal scene, because they all come from different backgrounds. You have jazz musicians who
Mm-hmm.
actually play in metal, so it's really related. And classical music too. We have a lot of elements of classical music in our music, because the our composer Ricky, who writes the music, he's also studying classical guitar. and and we are symphonic metal band, so the symphony orchestra is actually carrying the most of our sound. So it's not all black and dangerous. And actually, uh, people who listen to metal, those big guys with long beards and everything, are the sweetest people in the world.
Hmm.
You know, but yeah, Bosnia and metal.
You say, has it
Hard to
also
do.
something to do with that you sing on English? Would it be different if you make metal music in your language?
Well, couple of bands tried that, but it usually ended up as something that's not even metal. And yeah, they got attention, but mm, it's nothing more. Um, I mean, maybe we will write something in our mother language when we feel like doing that. But I'm not the kind of person who will do something just because it will bring me money or whatever. Because if I wanted to, if money was my number one, then I wouldn't be doing metal, obviously. So, um, yeah, I think it wouldn't be that different. And English language is so much prettier to sing for me, if you ask me.
Hmm.
And uh, it sounds better when it comes to metal music. So no, I don't think that it would make much difference.
You say just before that you miss a little bit more support from the city or the government. So, what you would like that the city or the government take care on artists? What kind of support you would like to have?
Well, first of all, it would be great if we had any metal record label, but that is not going to happen in 100 years. I mean, for sure, because this is already a poor country and our government is bad. So they don't really care about, some group of people that are singing about kingdoms and fantasy stuff, you know.
Hmm.
And that would be good if we had a record label, if we had more places to play live with better sound engineering and everything. But hopefully, I'm not losing hope. Hopefully, something will happen in the next few years. Like I already said, situation in Croatia is already better, and there are neighbors. And then when you go to Slovenia, everything is awesome. So maybe there's hope for Bosnia, but not yet.
So every metal label magazine should listen to that and contact you, and then you could see what happened. Never give up.
That would just
So
So
be
famous with
yeah.
the first session. I'm not so famous that everyone is listening here and only looking which talent I'm offering here. But you never know. But so if a label is interested, they should call you and contact you. And
Yeah, hopefully.
uh, what is no, I forgot the question what I had. We started by the musical, coming back to metal. You talked a little bit about the connection between musical and the metal performing. So, and what was the big difference? Was there something where you had really to convince yourself to learn for yourself very strong for performing on the musical?
Well, of course, that you have a lot of things that are different and that you have to learn them. Um, I always find something new to work on. When it comes to, if I start talking about vocal technique and differences, it will probably be boring because I'm not sure that a lot of people are familiar with that. But there is a technical difference. But and at the end of the day, it's just how much you love it and how much are you willing to give. If you're willing to give 100%, then you won't be struggling that much with some technical stuff. Then you will be there in that moment and you will give the emotion. Of course, it's a lot of different because it's always live. You don't go into, at least we didn't, go to the studio and to record those songs. So you're always um, doing live performances, and every play is different. Every time you can hear some new line, and I like that. I actually prefer live um, than studio, even with the band, because it's always different. It can never be the same, and that's the main thing and the most beautiful thing about all of that. Like you can see the same band at the same place in the same city, but that second time will be different,
Hmm.
and that's the thing that matters, and I think it's the core of music. So musicals are always different, and it can be challenging, of course, especially when you're doing that, every day. I didn't, but I can assume that it can be tiring, but it's beautiful. It's live energy.
And you say you had not such a big rule there. Uh, does your rule has also a big action in, so that it was complicated to sing and to act, or it was more
No,
smooth rule?
no, it's actually I'm in the group with two more ladies. We are sisters, and we are on the radio, and we are singing, and yeah, doing a little bit of dancing around the house of that very rich Mr. Warbucks. So no, it's not that big role. It's not big, and it's not very difficult. Um, it's fun, like very fun and very funny because the whole musical is very funny, and the spotlight is on that little girl Annie, actually, who's the main character.
Hmm. So coming back in the situation nowadays, in the Corona time, what you miss the most in this time in the isolation?
Uh, if I have to be honest, I don't miss a thing. Like
That's a good.
I'm, I'm I'm almost ashamed to admit that because people look at me strange when I say that I'm enjoying this time. Like, I know that things will get difficult after this, but there's nothing that I can do. So all that I can do is just, stay home and enjoy this time. And I really do enjoy it because I can work on my technique, my songs, I can rest, so I can clear my head from everything that's been going on. Of course, there is one thing that I miss, and I miss, holding my album in my hands
Hmm.
because it can be right now. But I like to believe that everything has its reasons, so everything will come at the right time. And I'm really enjoying this time. I'm reconnecting with myself, and trying to concentrate of doing useful things that will bring positive energy to do everything that I will do after this. I have when I get out of um, quarantine, I will go to the studio and record two more songs. So you can never be enough prepared for it. You can always do it better. So here's my chance.
It's nearly a wonderful, wonderful statement for the end, but I still have one question. It's I'm interested in, or I'm thinking a lot also about does we people will change after? Does we learn something from this crisis, or do we behave like usual after this? How is it for you? You think about this? Okay, you say you will go immediately in the studio and finish the recording. But is there some change for yourself and thinking about changing?
Well, of course, that I kind of already changed, uh, you know, within myself. But of course, that nothing will be the same, The bars are closed here. So, like, the first day when this ends, all of the people will go to the bar, you know? And I too miss that coffee from the coffee machine. Uh, and of course, that things will happen, and it would be good if something changed. Actually, if something changes after this, if people, it would be good if people would become more aware of everything that's happening. And but you know, people, we are strange beings. I believe 2 months after this, we will just, behave like we used to. Um, so I don't know. I actually don't know what will happen. There are a lot of theories and a lot of statements about what will happen, and I kind of try not to read those things, because it can sound terrifying, and there's nothing that I can do from it. I can only work on myself, and spend time with my family, and like you know use this time wisely, because when we come out from this, nothing will be the same probably, and everything will be hard. But I stay positive. I like to think that it will all be good. You know,
Mhm.
we will get out from this with a lot of new albums, a lot of new songs. You know,
Does it change
and
for you as a musician a little bit the perspective of making music, or about your stories you are writing? You told before that you are very interested in storytelling. So is there any
Mhm.
does you feel some changing in yourself for stories or?
Yeah, of course I do. I like I started to appreciate many things that I was kind of forgetting about before, because before all of this, you forget that you have the privilege, I don't know, to go for a walk. And now when you can to go for a walk whenever you want, you're like, okay, I should have thought about this earlier. And of course, that all of this is inspiring for us musicians and writers, for whatever, because this really awakes new emotions. You know, it's kind of scary, but you can get the best out of it. And of course, I'm sad. Of course, I'm sad because we had a lot of plans for this summer. We were about to go to Slovenia in September to play a gig, and then to do some shows after that. And we were, you know, everything was supposed to be out, so I would be, on the internet right now seeing the reactions of the people, but I'm not. But like I said, I can only hope for the best, and
Mhm.
everything will be fine.
Does some lyrics, do you write some lyrics in this time, in the isolation, in the quarantine? Some special
Yeah,
lyrics?
yeah, actually.
I know
Yeah,
the people
I
never like it when I ask that, but you would read something?
uh love to. I would really love to, but it's over the it already has its own music, so it will be one of the single.
Okay.
So I'm not pretty much, but but I do write. I do not write specifically about this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to finish some lyrics for the album, and I'm also writing down something when I get hit by a lightning. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's good. I wrote a couple of songs. We'll see what will happen with that. Maybe they won't even end up on our album, but I write things down, and one day they will look. They will actually, look the light of the day, or how to say it in English. I'm not sure, but you get me. You get the point.
I got that. So perhaps it was wonderful talk with you. So perhaps we can prepare. You can prepare something for the next talk. I would like to invite you again, and that you can. I know under this strange condition you have no good microphones, no good technique we have here, but it doesn't matter for me because I say it's better to do something than to lock the doors and get depressive. So it would be nice if you can prepare something and we can do a next session together.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me once again. It was really great talking with you. And yeah, maybe we can arrange something. We'll see what will happen around us. And if anyone's watching, you can follow me on my Instagram page so you can see or hear um everything that I do.
What is
And
your Instagram page? I cannot write it down in a
Sara
moment. Sorry, once again?
yeah, Sara Vojicic. Like it says, like it writes. Yeah.
I will write it. The video is later. You can see it on the YouTube channel, and I will write the comment and your Instagram account there. So it was wonderful
you.
for
Thank you.
me to talk with you about all that, and I'm curious what happened, and I want to know, of course, what's happened with your recordings and with the release.
Thank you very much. It was really wonderful, and everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and let the metal flow.
Yeah, okay. And greetings to all the other musicians.
Yes, of course.
Okay, have a nice time, and we hear from each other and see.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye
Thank you.
bye. Was very nice with you. Bye bye.
Bye.